guys, it's Sarah and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series that myself and my friend Lisa from Books and Smiles started a few months ago. And every Thursday we are talking about some sort of topic involving books that we just want to talk about. So anything we want to share with you guys. Sometimes they're recommendations for a certain genre. Sometimes there are things that a lot of people are talking about on BookTube, so we wanted to talk about them as well. And we kind of do it in a list form. So what we are doing this week is we are doing series that we finished in 2017. And we recently did one about series that we own that we still need to finish or we need to catch up on. So we thought it'd be fun to do kind of another little take on that and talk about books and series that we did finish this year only. So things that we either caught up on or we finished. And I have 5 series to talk about that I either caught up to the current release or I completely finished a finished series. And I'm really excited to talk about them. The first one I want to talk about is the Charlie Kate series, and this is a series that is written by Hester Young, and I've read the first 2 books. I read the first one actually, I believe, in January of 2017, and then I read the second one a couple months after that because I was sent an ARC of the second one. The first one is called The Gates of Evangeline. The second one is called The Shimmering Road. I read both of them. I really enjoyed them. These are adult books that are a little bit of a contemporary with a little paranormal aspect to it, along with a mystery. So you're trying to solve a mystery, and it follows Charlie Cates, who is a journalist, and she's kind of thrown into these situations where she's trying to figure out what's going on. She's really thrown into the middle of it. She also has a special ability that no one really knows about and that she is discovering as well. They were very interesting. I really enjoyed them. And like I said, there's only 2 books out now, so I have read the first 2. I believe there will be another book out as well. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but I will probably end up picking that one up as well. And I just really enjoyed it. Another series that I finished this year is the Selection series by Kira Cass. I do not own any of the books. I actually borrowed most of them when I read them. And this is a dystopian book series, and it's also kind of a young adult contemporary type of thing. And it follows a kingdom where there is definitely a big class system, and it's by numbers, and you're in a certain class based on your, social economic situation. The kingdom in this book series actually does a thing where it's called the selection, and they take either the prince or the princess, whoever is in that situation right then, and they do kind of like a bachelor type of system where they pick their spouse. So either they pick a girl to be the princess, or they pick a man to be the prince, whichever one is, whatever situation they're in. And it was good. It was a guilty pleasure. I flew through them really, really quickly. I did not think they were like amazing books, honestly, but they were just, I ate them up. I read them really fast. I sped read through them. I thought the story was very entertaining. The writing was not fantastic. It was very basic writing, but the story was good enough that it really kept me interesting. I read the first 3, which is the main trilogy. And then there is a spin-off duology as well, which follows the same world but a different set of characters, and it's a little bit into the future. I didn't enjoy the second duology quite as much as the original trilogy. I really enjoyed the original trilogy a lot. But I did read the other 2 just to say that I did, and yep, so I read all of those. And I also finished up the Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy by Sarah J. Maas. The 3rd book came out this year, and I got it, and I finished up the trilogy that way. So the first book is A Court of Thorns and Roses. The second book is A Court of Mist and Fury, which was my favorite. And then the 3rd book that I read this year is A Court of Wings and Ruin. And I loved these. I didn't love the first one quite as much. I think I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't my favorite. I had a lot of problems with the main character, and I thought she was really annoying and really ridiculous. In the second book, she redeemed herself for me. I actually found myself rooting for her. And a story arc happened that I absolutely loved. And we got a lot more in-depth with some of the characters that I was really interested in. In the first book, we got more in-depth look into them. So I loved that part. I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. It is so good. And then the 3rd book, I read this year when it came out, and I gave this one 4 stars as well. So it wasn't like the first and third books weren't my favorite in the series, but the second book just made up for it, honestly. But I did like the third book. I did like the third installment. I like the way that it ended. I'm excited to see what else she comes out with this world, because I believe she's coming out with one next year that is in the same world, but it doesn't follow the same characters as the main characters. I think it follows a different set of characters and a different story arc, and I'm really excited to see where she goes with it, and I will be purchasing that as well. And I really, really enjoyed this one. This is a series that I could see myself rereading sometime, just to kind of go back to it and see what I missed the first time around and see if any of my thoughts had changed on it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Another series that I finished up is actually Duology, and I read both of these books this year. That is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. The first one is The Wrath and the Dawn, and the second one is The Rose and the Dagger, and I read both of these this year. Absolutely loved them. This is a young adult fantasy duology that follows the storyline of 1001 Nights, where there is a king who is in power, and every day he takes a new bride, and by the end of the day, that bride is dead. He has her killed. And we follow a girl named Sharzad who goes to the kingdom to volunteer to be his bride because he had recently killed her best friend, and she wants to take revenge on him. So she goes to volunteer to be his bride so that she can take him down and she can kill him because of what he did to her best friend. It was so good. It was so good. I absolutely loved both of these. I gave this one, I think, 4.5 stars, and this one I gave 4 stars, and I just loved it. They were really action-packed, and the action that happened in here was fantastic. I loved the character dynamics. I loved the relationship that blossomed into here. I was really, really rooting for them, and I just loved it. It took quite a few different twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, and it shocked me quite a bit. And I thought it was wonderful. And the last series that I read, Everything That Is Out, it's not a completed series yet, but I did read the first 2 books, which were all that were out. And that is Maestra and Domina, and this is by L.S. Hilton, I believe. I read both of these, and I did not like them. I have a review on them on my channel, so I'll link it down below if you want more details, but it wasn't as interesting of a story as it could have been, and I feel like the author really struggled there to try to make it interesting, and I feel like she used a lot of sexual content in order to make up for that, which, you know, I don't mind sexual content at all. I've read some smutty stuff, I really have, but this stuff really made me cringe, and I felt like it was just in there for shock value, and I don't appreciate it if it's in there for shock value. If it's in there for a purpose, or like that's the reason for the book, then I understand that. But this one just felt like I felt like it was just over detailed with the intention to shock you. And I don't need to be shocked. It's fine. So I did not enjoy either of these books. I do not plan on continuing with the series. I've actually unhauled them. But yeah, so that would be the 5th series that I either finished or caught up on this year. All right, guys, that is it for me. I think 5 series is pretty good, you know, to either catch up or to finish. And yeah, I'm pretty good with that number, you know, to do all of that in a year. I think that's great. And make sure you go and check out Lisa's list as well. And I will have her channel linked down below. Make sure you go check her out. Make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me know down below if you guys have finished or caught up on any series this year. I really want to know which ones you guys have finished up. All right, I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.